Why?
Oh, say can you see all the dogs that behind? What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, bubbles bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the hope of the brave?
The 370th meeting of the Board of Trustees of Youngstown State University will please come to order. Will the secretary call the roll?
Yes. Members of the Board of Trustees, please indicate yes when I call your name to indicate your attendance, and also provide the location from which you are virtually attending the meeting of the Board of Trustees. Trustee Haxton.
Present at YSU.
Trustee Jacoback.
Present at YSU.
Trustee Cafaro.
Present at home, virtually.
You're muted.
Present at home, virtually.
Trustee Corolla.
Here at YSU.
Trustee Peterson.
Here at YSU.
Trustee Roberts.
Here at YSU.
Trustee Ryan.
Present YSU.
Trustee Seals.
Present YSU.
Trustee Woods.
Present at YSU.
And I think she's there. Trustee Lapachowski.
Here at YSU.
Trustee Spiegel. Present. Trustee Lafferty.
Here at YSU.
Chairperson Haxton, attendance has been completed, and I am recording that I am in attendance of the meeting virtually at YSU in the Ohio room at Hill College Center at YSU.
Thank you. Will the secretary provide proof of notice of today's meeting?
Pursuant to Article 2, Section 1 of the board's bylaws, written notice of today's meeting was timely provided to each of the trustees, student trustees, national global trustees, and to the president of the university, as well as it was publicly noticed on the Board of Trustees website and to the media. Draft copies of the minutes of the board's regular meeting held June 4th, 2020, meeting number 368, and special meeting held on August 10th, 2020, meeting number 369, were recently provided to the trustees. Are there any questions, corrections, or modifications regarding the minutes? Hearing none, they will stand approved as provided.
This is Trustee Cafaro. For those in the room at YSU, the video of the room is off.
Corolla as its newest trustee. Mr. Corolla was appointed to the board by Governor Mike DeWine earlier this summer to fill the seat formerly held by David C. Dybel. Would the secretary to the board please administer the oath of office to Mr. Corolla?
Yes. Mr. Corolla, will you please raise your right hand? I state your name.
I, Joseph Corolla,
Promise and swear to support
promise and swear to support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and to faithfully discharge the duties
safely discharge the duties
which I have been appointed by Governor Mike DeWine,
to which I have been appointed by Governor Mike DeWine,
the term designated.
to the term designated.
I shall do this as I answer under God.
I I shall do this as I answer under.
Congratulations, Mr. The board is also pleased to welcome formerly held by Rocco L. Ford. Would the secretary to the board please administer the oath of office to Mrs. Lahofsky?
Yes, please stand, please. I state your name,
I, Yoshimi Lahofsky,
promise and swear to support
promise States
in the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
in the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and to faithfully discharge the duties of the office
and to faithfully discharge the duties of the office
as a member of the Youngstown State University Board of Trustees,
as a member of the Youngstown State University Board of Trustees,
to which I have been appointed
to which I have been appointed
by Governor Mike DeWine
by Governor Mike DeWine
for the term designated.
for the term designated.
This I shall do as I answer under God.
This I shall do as I answer unto God.
Thank you.
President Tressel, do you have a report for the board?
Here.
Oh, sorry. I skipped one, Helen, I apologize. But our board is pleased to welcome Dr. Helen K. Lafferty as the newest National Global Trustee. Dr. Lafferty was appointed by the Youngstown State University Board of Trustees for a 3-year term. Would the secretary to the board please administer the oath of office to Dr. Lafferty?
Yes, ma'am. Please raise your right hand. I say your name, please.
Helen K. Lafferty,
Promise and swear to support
promise and swear to support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and to faithfully discharge the responsibilities
and to faithfully discharge the responsibilities
of the office of National Global Trustee,
of the office of National Global Trustee,
which I have been
to which I have been appointed
by the Board of Trustees of Youngstown State University.
by the Board of Trustees of Youngstown State University.
I shall do this as I answer unto God.
I shall do this as I answer unto God.
Thank you and welcome.
Now, Mr. President, you have a report for the board.
I do, Madam Chair. Quite often in the September meeting, we say we had a good summer to kind of re-energize ourselves and take a little needed break. But this June, July, and August of 2020 was quite a busy summer for so many. The amazing work that the Youngstown State University workforce did in the course of the summer was something we can be awfully proud of. We had our take charge of our future focus groups that over 50 people worked all summer long to make sure that we had a safe return to campus prepared for our students, that we had high quality instruction in 5 different modalities planned for our campus, and that we had all of the necessary things that every one of us will need to have a successful fall semester. Our faculty spent all summer long rearranging how they instruct. Our Board of Trustees was in constant support. Our Academic Senate met quite often from an executive committee standpoint to help our students and make sure that our students had the opportunity to have a successful return. We worked very closely with our inter-university council partners, our other 13 state universities, our Chancellor, Randy Gardner. We worked extremely hard with our local city officials, our law enforcement officials, the city health department, the county health departments in the area. There was an amazing amount of work put forward by so many. We also were very blessed that the federal government provided us with one-time CARES Act funding, which impacted 3,787 of our students to give them an opportunity to handle this moment where some families lost jobs and students lost part-time work, and it was amazing one-time assistance. And our Youngstown State University Foundation stepped up. They started the Penguin to Penguin Fund to meet immediate needs in March, April, and May as our students were trying to finish the semester and then get on into the summer. over 302 students were helped with over $65,000 worth of just day-to-day needs. Our emergency COVID-19 scholarship provided by the YSU Foundation, nearly $1.4 million worth of scholarship assistance for incoming transfer students who felt as if they needed to make a move closer back to home. Also, a number of students who were not sure if they could persist. They didn't get some financial backing, so that was an amazing impact that our YSU Foundation did from a one-time funding standpoint. And what that resulted in, when you had the work of our Student Success Office, our Provost Office, our deans, our department chairs, our faculty, all of the people who were reaching out to students to encourage them to not allow their academic career to get sideways, if you will. Our enrollment ended up being about 4.4% down, which as we were there at the beginning of June, we weren't sure exactly what that number would be. And truly, it was an amazing effort by everyone on this campus to make sure that as many students as possible come back and have the opportunity to continue their academic journey. Obviously, we still have budget challenges, which we understand. So much of the funding and the help we got was on a one-time basis. We know that there's constant challenges, but whether it be demographics or a lot of different competitions and ways now, we're anticipating that higher education as a whole will have quite a challenge with this new normal, if you will, and so we'll be working extremely hard with that. I did want to report to the board of our COVID-19 report. Beginning the week after Labor Day, we will have a somewhat of a dashboard which will be updated weekly. But to give you a little bit of a update, again, this being June, July, and August report, we had 22 positive cases in that 3-month period, 6 of which were staff members, 16 were students. We have 1 in isolation off campus at this moment, but our city health department, our local county health departments, Julie Gentile, and our people in our Office of Environmental and Occupational Health and Safety have been amazing. So we will get a weekly update as we go forward, but we're doing as well as we can. We understand there will be cases, but we have everything in place to make sure with our great health partner right up the street, Mercy Health, and our Mercy Health Quick Primary Care facility on the campus. We feel very good about the safety of our students. We know that there's a lot of work to do on a day-to-day basis. We know we've gotten off to a good start. We're in week 3, but we've got to continue wearing those masks. I'll put mine on as soon as I'm done talking. We've got to keep that social distancing. We've got to make sure that we do a great job with our hand sanitization and all the rest. And I know our people will continue to work on that. All the while during those 3 months, our Office of Academic Affairs, our Academic Senate, all of our faculty, our administrative staff continue to work on our Take Charge of Our Future strategic plan. Just because we had a little bit of a curveball thrown didn't mean that we needed to stop working on that, and we'll continue to work on the student futures focus, the academic distinction focus, and obviously the regional impact. We've been really pleased with the efforts of Carol Bennett from the Office of Academic Affairs, our Assistant Provost for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. In the midst of all this, she created her Seize the Moment group, and she's added 5 graduate assistants to her staff, and we're looking forward to a lot of good work. So, Madam Chair, it was not your typical summer vacation. That's my report.
Thank you. The only thing I'll add is that the entire campus community support for the safe return to campus, also the pursuit of excellence, has been nothing short of outstanding. So the Board of Trustees greatly appreciates that. Provost Smith, will you please introduce the faculty presentations to the Board of Trustees?
Distinguished members of the board, Madam Chair, President Trustees, it's my pleasure today to introduce some of our finest faculty. They are here today with us virtually. So I will call them by name now, and they will be presenting in the following order. Dr. Daniel Cowan, Associate Professor, Dana School of Music, Cliff College of Creative Arts. Dr. Sarah Mickelson, Associate Professor and Acting Chair, Department of Health Professions, Bacante College of Health and Human Services. Dr. Corey Rosina, Assistant Professor and Director, First Year Engineering Program, Rayan School of Engineering, College of Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. It's my pleasure to introduce them to you. So Daniel Cowan, if you would like to proceed.
All hail to thee, O Youngstown, our alma mater.
Thank you to the YSU Board of Trustees for the invitation to share what our students have been doing in the online environment. My name is Daniel Cowan, Associate Professor of Music Education in the Dana School of Music. Last March, we all experienced a sudden shift in how we provide a meaningful education for our YSU students. As soon as Voices of YSU heard the news that the ensemble was going to continue class remotely, we all took a minute to sulk, and then we got up and we pivoted. Within 5 minutes, we were embracing the pivot and began exploring new ways to learn music, make music, and connect with music. As artistic ambassadors of Youngstown State University, Voices of YSU is a vocal ensemble consisting of YSU students of diverse backgrounds, where we shape ourselves and others through artistic exploration, musical excellence, and the engagement of impactful, creative-based social initiatives that serve the community. Over the course of a few months, Voices participated in a variety of learning experiences. One of these experiences was the creation of the virtual performance. Now, the virtual performance is nothing new. It's been around for several years, nor can that virtual choir performance really replace what we do during face-to-face ensemble settings. However, we learned that through this process, we could allow some essence of music learning, music making, and music connecting. The process of creating a virtual performance is fairly simple in structure, but somewhat complex in preparation. Essentially, click tracks and vocal tracks are created and provided to the ensemble along with their sheet music. After providing some instruction and rehearsing strategies via Zoom, the singers independently create an official singing performance by playing the guide track into their headphones while video recording themselves singing. Once the video recording is complete, students submit their individual videos through Blackboard, and we begin synchronizing all of the audio tracks. Using Pro Tools here in my home studio, we work to align the voices, clean up the audio by processing out some of the background noises and what have you, and produce a final balanced mix. Afterwards, the video files are synchronized in Adobe Premiere Pro with the final audio mix. Overall, this production process is very time-intensive. In late March, the group piloted this virtual process with a short etude. As soon as we felt comfortable and ready, we began to prepare for our first publicly intended virtual performance. Along with Dr. Brant Payne and members of the pep band and Marching Pride, we formed a collection of YSU students to virtually perform the alma mater. Later in May, Mr. Rick Williams of YSU Veterans Affairs Office called to see if there was any way that Voices could sing our national anthem at the virtual reading of the name ceremony for Memorial Day. It was an honor to offer a virtual performance of the anthem to recognize those from YSU who lost their lives in the military.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the dead wonders light.
A few weeks later, with the support of Dean Phyllis Paul and Director Randall Goldberg, Voices teamed up with Mr. Jaron Legrar, one of our vocal instructors at Dana, in a performance of I Know Where I've Been from the musical Hairspray, as we allowed our voices to support the Black community and recognize years of racial injustice during the week of Juneteenth. Within just a few days, we were able to create a vocal arrangement of the work, learn our vocal parts, establish an open dialogue through Zoom to understand the unrest that was occurring as a way to make more informed interpretation for how we wanted to communicate this song. We then recorded our parts independently and completed all of the post-production of this performance, all happening within a week. Here's fellow voice, Gabrielle Chapman, a psychology major, to share some of the challenges and rewards of this virtual experience.
Choir in person and learning and listening to people around you, it was difficult to go through like virtual choir. It was an interesting experience, but I was glad I did it. It helped me to explore my own voice, it helped me to see like how I can read music and how I can learn music and how I can express through music, even if I'm by myself in my room and practicing it by myself. So it helped me to adjust to wanting choir more than anything and wanting it even if I have to see it from a computer.
It's also important to note that Mr. Jack Chernello, our recording technology program coordinator, had an important role with some of the engineering and piano contributions for some of these projects. So, what's next? Well, we have a few more virtual performances coming up this semester, and we hope to maybe even collaborate with other organizations or other ensembles outside of Youngstown or even outside of the state of Ohio. However, we have a new idea for how we can make music using two instruments, our voice and laptops. All I can say is that we're flipping the virtual performance concept on top of its head and hope to introduce a new type of music making for ensembles in the coming months. Thank you again for this invitation to speak with you today. I would like to leave you with Jaron LeGrar and Voices of YSU performing I Know Where I've Been. Thank you. Thank you.
He was opening the floor if anyone has any questions.
Thank you, Sharon.
Sarah, whenever you are ready.
I am. Do you see the presentation? Because I don't see it, Sharon. There we are. Well, good morning. I wasn't quite sure what project I
Sarah, I
wanted
think
to.
you're muted.
No, I'm not muted. Yeah, I could hear you too when you were speaking last time. Sharon, can you hear me now?
Sarah, can you talk for a second?
Yes, I can
Am I
talk.
talking? Okay. Let me try something. How about now?
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Excellent. Good morning. I wasn't I wasn't quite sure what project I wanted to present to you today, because the last academic year was very exciting. We had 2 projects accepted for national presentation at the American College of Sports Medicine, as well as a symposium on incorporating exercise into medicine, although they were all canceled due to COVID. So I do appreciate this opportunity to present on at least one of them. This particular project is a pilot project examining the effects of exercise desks on physical activity levels in reading skills in children with neurodevelopmental disorders. You can flip, Sharon, please. Childhood is an important time to begin engaging children in an active environment. And the physical activity guidelines recommend that children should engage in at least 60 minutes a day of moderate, vigorous physical activity daily. Although only about 42% of children 6 to 11 and only 8% of adolescents actually meet these guidelines. Flip, Sharon. In an effort to increase levels of physical activity, there have been many investigations that have made attempts to target physical activity during school time, because most of the children are in school most hours of the day. In this particular study, Donnelly and colleagues compared schools that did promote physical activity in red versus those that did not, and found that those that did had 12% higher levels of physical activity during the school day and 13% higher 4-day average. You can advance, please. They also examined the change in academic scores from baseline 3 years in elementary schools promoting physical activity compared to those that do not. And you see a much greater change in composite, reading, math, and spelling scores. You can advance, please. However, approximately 4.4 million children living in our country are diagnosed with a neurodevelopmental disorder. And these children not only engage in less physical activity, but there are significant gaps in their academic achievement. For example, as demonstrated in children with ADHD alone, there is a 7 to 15% gap in achievement from kindergarten to grade 5. And that gap becomes more pronounced as the years progress. Advance, please. For children with neurodevelopmental disorders, participation in physical activity may be particularly valuable for therapeutic reasons, as well as general physical and social development. For example, physical activity is demonstrated to decrease aggressive episodes, stereotypy, maladaptive behavior, and increase the response time, executive functioning, and attention. But little remains to be known about physical activity's effects on improving their overall levels of physical activity in school, as well as their academic achievement. Advance, please. Therefore, our aim was to evaluate the effects of employing a kinesthetic classroom, which means a classroom based around movement via activity desks and movable chairs, on time spent in sedentary, light, and moderate activity using accelerometers, and we assessed reading skills via the Maze reading comprehension and oral reading fluency in 4th and 7th grade youth with neurodevelopmental disorders. You can advance, please. A crossover design was used where 7th graders were provided activity desks for 8 weeks, and then the last 8 weeks, the desks were removed from the 7th grade room and provided to the 4th graders. You can advance. These are the multi-station activity desks we purchased for the school. They include, you can see there, 2 bikes that students would sit at the desks and be able to pedal, and 2 paddle rockers on each side. Advance, please. We also bought accordion chairs and wobble chairs, which is really nice about this equipment is it doesn't require any instruction on how to use it. You can advance, please. As expected, we did find that weight significantly correlated with all of the amounts of time that they spent sedentary, light, or moderate. And so moving forward in the analysis, of course, we adjusted for body weight. In terms of how much time they spent in sedentary activity, the main message here is that younger youth, depicted on your left, are less sedentary whether you give them a reason to be or not. And the younger group, albeit not significant, also use the activity desk though more than the older group. Though light activity didn't have any significant changes, we did see that significant decrease in sedentary time. And so we're expecting to see there to be some increase in movement. And on the next slide, we'll see that moderate level activity did increase in both groups, albeit more in the fourth graders, the younger population, than the older population. Compared to the traditional classroom, the kinesthetic classroom had no main effect on their reading scores. However, there was an interaction with the seventh graders increasing their scores when the desks were introduced, whereas the fourth graders demonstrated a lower score. We're hoping they were just really excited about the desks and they just quit paying attention for that bit. But we're not quite sure how to explain that particular decline in the fourth graders. Both grades increased their words read correctly when the activity desks were used during those 8 weeks. And so when we look at the overall results, we see that the pilot study demonstrated that both groups decreased time spent in sedentary activity while increasing time spent in moderate activity during school. Although the data also support the literature in that adolescents are more inactive than their younger peers, even when they're provided movement-based desks. We could possibly infer that this might be a battle against an already built-in daily school habit, although longitudinal studies will remain to be determined. Furthermore, we also found that activity desks do appear to improve reading skills, specifically words read correctly. And that's to conclude the presentation. And here's just our acknowledgements of the schools that we worked with, as well as the research team and our funding source. I really do appreciate the opportunity to present to you.
Thank you. That's nice. Thank you. Consider a kinesthetic boardroom. Yeah, there you go.
Well, you know, Maud Library has a couple of those desks now that are pedal desks.
I'm going to vote for that. Thank you.
Yes.
Question from trustees. All right, we'll move on to our next report.
Okay, Corey, you're good. You have sharing on this one, Corey. Oh, you're muted. Okay.
There we are. Well, thank you all. I appreciate this opportunity to present here. I'm very excited about this opportunity that I have available. So today I want to talk about the Nsf Grant that I have recently been recommended for funding. And so what that means is that the Nsf, the National Science Foundation, has said, yes, we want to fund your project. And so I'm working through different paperwork and things like that to get it awarded. And that'll take, I'm hoping next week it will be officially awarded. So it's not 100% that we have it, we're 99%. So I feel really great about this. So this project, it's entitled Developing and Encouraging Engineering Professionals, Commuters. It is a National Science Foundation proposal from the STEM program, scholarships in STEM. I'm the PI, and I have two co-PIs that will be working on this project with me, Dr. Hazel Marie She's a professor in mechanical engineering, and Dr. Katie Kripe is an associate professor in education. So a bit about this proposal is it will be $1 million over 5 years from the National Science Foundation, and this is the largest NSF grant in the history of YSU by about 50%. So it's going to give us some great recognition. The project itself, I'll overview it. It has first element is some program recruitment. So we're specifically going to target women's outreach programs and pre-college programs. Our goal is to increase the number of women in the engineering programs at YSU. Additionally, the big part of the funding from this award will be scholarships for students. It'll be a minimum of 120 total renewable scholarships to qualified engineering students who are Pell eligible. The funding will be approximately $5,200 per year per student, and it's for academically talented students, which we define as ACT scores of math ACT scores of 25 or greater. The total award for scholarships of the $1 million will be $624,000. It was a requirement of NSF to have at least 60% of the program funding go towards scholarships for students. Additionally, with the scholarships, there's programmatic features. So we're going to have 2 cohorts going through this program and give them funding for each of their 4 years. And so we're also going to include activities such as community building, mentoring. They're going to have one-on-one mentoring with a professor in engineering. And then we have activities of professional and leadership skill development to grow those core sets within the students. Additionally, all NSF funded proposals need to have intellectual merit and broader impacts components. And so for the intellectual merit part of our proposal is we're going to investigate the impacts of being an engineering student with commuter status on student integration and success. There's very little research done on commuter students in general, but even fewer done on conducted on commuter students who are engineering students. And so this will be a landmark study, and I'm very excited about this opportunity to do research on commuter students in engineering. And then overall, the broader impacts, our goals are to increase the 1-year and 2-year retention rates in engineering, as well as the 6-year graduation rate. So our goals overall are to recruit students into the scholarship program, into our cohorts, but also to recruit students into the first-year engineering program. And so we'll use the funds to do research on commuter students, to have different research and programmatic experiences for all students in engineering to increase our enrollment, but also the retention and eventually the graduation rate of students. So that's just a quick overview of the proposal, and we should be starting this January 1st of next year, with our first cohort being in fall of 2021. So that's all I have for you all. Thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to take those.
Any questions? That's tremendous work. Congratulations on that achievement.
Thank you.
Line well with your overall strategic plan, all of your goals there, so I'd be interested to see what that. Thank you. And I believe Trustee Woods is going to provide a comment about the student presentation.
Good morning, everyone. This morning, Galena and I have invited the Nepalese Student Association to present to the board. The NSA has been active on YSU's campus for many years now. And through their organization meetings and community cultural events, these students help to build a bridge between Nepalese students in the US and their home, as well as between domestic students and the Nepalese culture. As diversity is an ever relevant topic and something that this board is very passionate about furthering at YSU, the student trustees felt that this exceptional group of students exemplifies the culture that we're trying to create on campus. So, Shreya and Anish, whenever you're ready.
Hello,
Sure.
everybody can hear me.
Hi. Sure.
I'm going to mute one of you and you'll just unmute yourself. So I'm not sure who wants to go first. I'm going to unmute Shreya first.
Okay.
Something else nearby?
Good morning. Namaste, everybody. This is me, Shreya. I am president of NSA, and I'm going to present with my vice president, Anish Khatka, today. So our NSA has been here from 2017, and we are actively here to diversify. This is our purpose. We are here to help prospective students from Nepal and bring international and Nepalese student association together for intellectual and social interaction in multicultural setting. So we also talk with prospective students who are in Nepal and then provide them information about YSU and their majors. We encourage and sponsor cultural diversity as a joint venture with others. We also have relationship and cooperation among our group. Like we also are mutually connected with each other and have we are actively involved in each other's life, and we are like a friend helping each other. Our purpose is friendship and integrity, helping others and to promote diversity in YSU. We have been active in YSU in different occasions, mostly in Dasai and Tihar night. It is one of the Nepal's most celebrated festival, and we also at Dasai and Tihar night, these are the pictures from our past Dasai and Tihar night. And sorry, there's an echo coming in. Can I turn off and turn on again? Can you share from yours? The Nepalese Association is a student-led organization founded in spring of 2017 to promote mutual understanding and cooperation among Nepalese students. It promotes Nepali culture and organizes and cultural events Before the inauguration of our group, a few Nepalese students were well acquainted with each other, and the founder decided it was time to establish a better friendship and cooperation between the Nepali community present at YSU. NSA has participated in many events at YSU with the success came among approval for Nepali community. Presently, NSA has a population of more than 65 students. NSA prides itself in the value to help prospective students from Nepal and bring the International and Nepalese Student Association together for intellectual and social interaction in multicultural settings, to encourage and sponsor cultural diversity as a joint venture with others. Relationship and cooperation to establish a better relationship and cooperation among the Nepalese students at the University of Youngstown State. Friendship and integrity to promote understanding, friendship, integrity, and cooperation among students, faculty members, and the surrounding community. Helping others to extend all possible help and cooperation to all Nepalese students at University of Youngstown State in such case may be deemed necessary for all the members of executive committee to promote diversity, bring awareness, and lend a helping hand to the need of Nepal. And as of our past involvement in YSU, we have done Dasai and Tihar Night. It is one of the most important festival in Nepalese community. We celebrate it in YSU with cultural night, Nepalese food, dance, and a lot of people participate, including people who are not from Nepal. Last year, we had about like 160 people who participated in one of our Dasai and Tihar Night. We also have Holi, which is a festival of colors, and we celebrate it with color, music, and 130 people participated a year before because we were not able to do it because of the coronavirus. We also had IPO coffee hour. We participated in other cultural programs like Lunar New Year celebration. Most of the students from NSA has volunteered for honors college and other fundraising programs. We also have actively volunteered in different social, cultural, and institutional activities organized by YSU. And these are our pictures from our Dasai and Tihar Night, the Holi festival. You can see all kind of people from diverse culture came together to celebrate our festival.
Hello, I hope everybody can hear me. As being like a past member of the NSA, I can really say it has made a huge impact in my life and all of my friends' life. Because being 7,500 miles away from home, you feel kind of empty, you feel alone. But being a part of NSA, it has helped me a lot. It had helped me a lot, and I hope that it has helped all the members of the NSA to cope being this far away from home. I mean, I think I speak for everybody in NSA that I could give anything away to get even a glimpse of from back home. But and events like Dasai and Holi and all these events done by NSA has helped me and a lot of people uh, reconnect with all the cultures back home, and it really has put a huge impact in my life. And now that my friends have elected me and Shreya to lead them and to promote all the cultural promotions, all the cultural events for NSA. I'm really proud to say that I am the vice president of NSA, and as you can see in the pictures, that these events not only impact the Nepalese community, but also American and all the other people who are happy enough to celebrate with us. And they were very helpful. We have people like Leah, Marilyn, and on some of the events, President Tussle has been kind enough to get involved with our celebration, with our culture, with our food. And I am very grateful to everybody for letting us be a part of this community and letting us share our culture and letting us be us. Thank you. And if you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer.
Trustee Seals met with the Director of Audit, and we discussed the current projects they had as well as any audits that were going on currently, and we were updated and everything reported was fine, and we had no issues, no challenges. Great.
Thank you, thank you. Ms. Cafaro, do you have a report from the investment subcommittee?
Yes, Madam Chair. The investment subcommittee met yesterday, and we were briefed by our external consultants from ClearStep about the status of our investments as well as our compliance with provisions of the Ohio Revised Code, and there were no actionable items at this time.
Thank you very much. Is there an objection to the adoption of the resolutions recommended by the by the University Affairs Committee listed in the agenda as items H4A through H4E? Hearing no objection, the chair declares the resolutions adopted. Are there any communications or memorials to come before the board?
Yes, Madam Chair. Since we last met on June 3rd of 2020, we've lost 8 members of our Youngstown State University family. I would like to ask this board to memorialize those wonderful participants in this great university in the minutes. Christine Mastramico, retired YSU employee in the registration department. Victoria N. Price, nursing student, graduated 2017. Leonard H. Pierce IV, Youngstown early college student. Barbara Shimko, retired YSU employee, athletic department. Edward Mady, YSU alum and Hall of Fame recipient. Richard McLaughlin, former member of the YSU Board of Trustees, YSU Alumni Association, and YSU Foundation Trustees. Grace O'Connor, retired YSU employee, Batante Health and Human Services. And Randall Craig Flesher, music director and conductor, Youngstown Symphony Orchestra. We could have our thoughts and prayers memorialized in this board's minutes. Thank you.
Is there any unfinished business to come before the board?
Ma'am.
Is there any new business to come before the board?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. I think for our committee meetings yesterday and for our presentations today, I know for me, it was palpable to see the passion, the dedication, the creativity, and really the brilliance of all of those on our campus. I know that with their expertise and support, we can face the challenges that we're going through today and any future challenges, which I'm sure will be around the corner. And I know that we will be shining stars in our pursuit of excellence. So I thank everybody for their participation. Mr. President, do you have any concluding comments or observations?
Thank you.
Thank you. The chair will entertain a motion setting the following dates and times for the next regular meetings of the Board of Trustees. 10 a.m. on Thursday, December 3rd, 2020. 10 a.m. on Thursday, March 3rd, 2021. 10 a.m. Thursday, June 3rd, 2021. First and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. If there's no further business to come before the board, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, we're done.
Thank you.
Thank you.